Former Trump White House advisor Peter Navarro had been avoiding the subpoena that he was facing to speak to the January 6th commission. He apparently thought he didn't need to comply with it because this is DC, he's powerful, well-connected, there are never any consequences, and that is generally true. In this case though, he got arrested actually, and here he is speaking out about what happened to him.
Instead of coming to my door where I live, which by the way is right next to the FBI, instead of calling me and say, hey, we need you down at court, we've got a warrant for you, I would have gladly come. What did they do? They intercepted me getting on the plane. And then they put me in handcuffs, they bring me here, they put me in leg irons, they stick me in a cell. By the way, just historical note, I was in John Hinckley's cell. They seem to think that that was like an important historical note, okay? That's punitive. What they did to me today violated the Constitution.
Yeah, it was really weird of the FBI to bring that up. And then a little bit weird for him to bring that. Why did he bring it up in that? Anyway, so that was Peter Navarro, and he was hauled away because, as he points out, the FBI was really rude. He would have gladly complied with the subpoena if, wait, he actually just wasn't complying with it. He knew that he had to go in, he refused to, so they went and got him. That's how this is supposed to work. It generally doesn't in DC, but this is how it's supposed to work. He knew he was supposed to go in. He chatted with Ari Melber this week about the fact that he was defying the subpoena. So you can't be that shocked that they finally went and got you.
No, that was an amazing piece of video. I love that. I thought it was just hilarious. Let me translate for you.
But also, Cenk, it looks like he's taking whatever Don Jr.'s been taking recently.
Yeah, I mean, he's energetic.
Yeah,
energetic. That's a good word.
They're all taking some sort of crazy juice, right? So the translation of that video is, I'm one of the elites.
Yeah,
I'm above the law. How dare they enforce the law against me? Well, it turns out, Peter, you ain't above the law. And by the way, don't get me wrong, I'm as shocked as you are, okay? I thought DOJ would never do this. And so, I mean, remember, this is not on the substance, this is just on the contempt. Because he refuses to testify in front of the Senate, in front of the House, and that's against the law. You can't ignore a subpoena. You couldn't do it, and it turns out, hey, Peter Navarro can't do it. And so now, I think the more important charges are about him participating in basically an insurrection and a coup through what he wrote a book about, the Green Bay Sweep. And I mean, Ari Melber made a good point. He's like, you know that you say you don't want to speak to Congress. You know that they can hear you on TV, right? And he didn't say this, but the soldier, Peter, you wrote a whole book about how you plan to steal the election. So it's not like you're like, oh, I have a moral problem with speaking out on this. I have a principled issue here. No, his principle that he's livid about is, I thought I was an elite. How dare you enforce the law against one of the elites in Washington?
Yeah, I don't think he wants to have to testify in an area where the lies he's inclined to tell could then have consequences. He wants to have control over it. He wants to be able to grift off of it, sell his book, but he doesn't want to have to be sworn in or anything like that.
Right, well, and that goes to a bigger subject here, which is the Republican Party and their disregard for the law and what they're doing to it over and over, and how they've been doing it in disregarding congressional subpoenas, in calls to cooperate with Congress, calls to provide information to Congress, calls to provide tax return information as a candidate, all things that are legally required.
Stock Act.
Well, I mean, again, that's what I'm saying. This is the nothing else matters part, and they weave this in as if that is some kind of a joke, some arcane old America. They want make America great again. That's what we had when America was great before he took office. So honestly, this is the scariest part of all of it, and he is part of that web that they're weaving. Peter Navarro has been there for a lot of it, and he was there spewing the lies and the misinformation from that White House. And we're seeing it happen now, where he is indignant about being arrested for breaking the law.
Yeah, and look, more good news regarding Navarro. So on the actual substantive charges of him, basically planning an insurrection, the grand jury is sitting on that issue now. It's been impaneled, and they might arrest him on the substance.
Yeah.
So that hasn't happened yet. And it's not clear if he's the target or a witness, but if he's not the target, then Trump might be the target. And so I'm shocked to see the DOJ acting. Absolutely floored by it. I thought there was almost no chance that Merrick Garland would take any action. On contempt, I thought there was a good chance they would do something, and that's what this is. But the fact that they've impaneled a grand jury to look into the substance of the January 6th when it comes to not to the what they would consider the riffraff, the masses. Yes, of course, they'll beat the living crap out of them, right? The ones that actually broke in. But the elites, Navarro, Trump, etc. Wow. Yeah. Okay, so if that grand jury comes in, that could make a giant difference.
No question. It could also get ramped up after the open hearings of the January 6th commission. If, Garland has said we're letting Congress do their work a lot. And if Congress does their work and what Garland sees is we have to do our work, then I would imagine, again, I'm with you on Garland generally, but I would imagine that's what he's waiting for to a degree.
Yeah, I hope he doesn't wait too long because there is a ticking clock on
I was going to say, he can't wait very long, which is why it's good that it's next week that these open hearings happen.
One last piece of good news. I know that, look, arresting Trump on this through the grand jury, etc., seems like a really long shot. There's no reason why it should be. He definitely did it. They have overwhelming evidence, but Democrats are usually very, very scared to act, right? But if they do arrest him, he almost, I looked up the legal definition of insurrection. He certainly did it. And if you get convicted of insurrection, that is one of the punishments for that is that you are not allowed to run for office again. So for God's sake, take action. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.